This episode is sponsored by Cryptid Crate. And now, if you use the promo code SECRETPOD, you won't save 10% on your first order. You will save 20% on your first order. So if you're a paranormal or cryptozoology lover, go to cryptidcrate.com and use the promo code SECRETPOD. And that'll save 20% on your first order. cryptidcrate.com.
Podcast discussing conspiracies, paranormal, and the strange.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. This is a podcast about the strange and unusual, the secret and conspiracies, the fringe and the supernatural. This is a show where we do little to no research on our topics. We are not professionals in any field except speculation. This is the Secret Transmission Podcast, and today we're going to be talking about the Denver International Airport. I am your host, Toby. And sitting around me, getting ready to talk about... What are we talking about? Denver Airport?
Denver Airport, I think. Yeah.
Introduce yourselves, guys.
Rudy.
Kristen.
Tyler.
Okay. Today we are talking about the Denver International Airport.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Did you be positive?
We're talking about it because it's just an airport.
Is it?
Is it, though?
Is it? You sure?
So, before we get into the is it, let me just give you a little background on the DIA.
Okay.
Yeah, trust me, that's the initials.
So, I had to think about that for a second, sorry.
The Denver International Airport is located in Denver, Colorado.
But it's not the only one.
You're jumping on the shark.
I'm glad
here.
you clarified it, because if it was Denver, Wisconsin, I'd be a little worried.
It opened on February 28th, 1995. It is the largest airport in the United States at 33,531 acres, or that's 52.4 square miles. Fuck you, Canada, and all the other places that don't use miles. I'm not going to convert that to, what is it that they
Kilometers?
Kilometers?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Who's going to correct us on that? Kilometers or kilometers?
Oh, I don't know.
It's them Canadians.
Since everybody corrected us on Hungary or Hungry.
I'm sure somebody will try to correct us.
We're both right,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
It cost around... Okay, I had two different reports that I found. One source was saying it cost about $4.8 billion to build. The other source said $5.2 billion. And whichever it was over budget by $2 billion.
Okay.
I mean, just, pocket change.
Right. When you're building a bunker, it tends to go over. Hiding secret government stuff. Just throwing that out
Allegedly.
No, they hide shit. I know they are. I've been there.
And they also they opened a year and a half behind schedule.
Yeah. Blasting all that extra
It takes
rock.
a lot to find a contractor.
Right. Who keep their mouths shut.
That tends to be the problem later on. So,
God.
Continue.
Dun, dun. Okay.
it is the 18th busiest airport in the world, the 6th busiest in the United States. I got confusing information on this too, but I think it has about 133 gates.
Okay.
It was voted best...
133 gates?
That's a lot of gates.
Yes. That's what I said.
Jesus.
There was some other ones that were like 113, so it's well over 100. So I couldn't clear that one up either. They may have added some. I don't know.
They're pumping them out.
It was voted the best airport in North America by readers of Business Traveler magazine 6 years in a row from 2005 to 2010. Named...
If you're killing people, you can't really not do it without a smile. So, I mean, of course it's the best one. They're like, welcome. Come and visit us again. You have no clue what we're doing here.
It was named America's Best Run Airport by Time Magazine in 2002. This is the only airport in the States to issue a ISO 14001 environmental management system in the entire airport. Basically, it's like a way for them to improve the resource efficiency, reduce water, and drive down all the costs.
Okay. So it's more efficiently
More
run.
efficient.
Right.
Which you might want this facility to be as efficient as humanly possible.
Right. Especially if you're harboring aliens or...
I don't know if
whatever.
it's as humanly as possible, because I see
As reptilian as possible.
they're getting rid of a lot of humans there. So,
But yeah, it's very efficient. The airport moves about 75 million passengers a year.
it's skiing season, bitch.
No shit. This is pretty interesting. Over 110 million cubic yards of earth was moved during the building of this project. This is equivalent to 1/3 the amount of earth moved in a building when they were building the Panama Canal.
They had a permit and they were not scared. They said, this is how much earth we're moving.
They moved a ton of dirt around.
Well, according
More
to you,
than
it
a
was
ton.
several...
Well, yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
So it had to be pretty.
Yeah.
It had to
Ton's
be
like
pretty deep.
2,500 pounds.
Yeah, it had to be very deep. The
exactly.
airport has 17 mechanical rooms, over 1 million pounds of ducts, and 40 miles of piping. The airport also has largest jet fuel distribution network in the world. Runways are spaced 4,200 feet from each other. The airport has electric powered subway lines that move up to 6,000 people an hour.
Damn.
In the tunnels.
Yeah, the tunnel.
We'll get
But
to.
this was...
That's where
Okay,
all
so
that
this
dirt
was made in when?
It was started in. You know what? I can't remember when it was started, but
But it was open in 95.
it was open in '95. So I want to say it took. I think they started it in '92. Is when they.
I wonder when they took, like, the census, because, like, you gotta think, I'm sure there's a ton of people in and out, especially since weed is legal there.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you gotta think...
It was a hot spot before weed was legal, and now.
Right, but that's, like, the main... Every time when someone's like, I want to go skiing, I want to do this, where do they go? Colorado.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. So, I mean, I can understand that, but after that, yeah.
Colorado's very touristy, though.
I
as
went
far
to...
as the state.
I've been to the first Denver airport, and it was cool. It was very confusing. Like you said, there's a lot of gates. There was a lot of gates at this one, and they have a lot of shuttles going from one area to the next. And if you miss that shuttle, you're screwed. So, I mean, it's fun. I mean, I don't know.
They closed that one down in '95. The one that you're talking about, the Stapleton International Airport. It was shut down in '95. So you had to have been at the new one.
There's no way. The new one I never heard about until, like, 2000s.
Mandela.
Yeah, you've been Mandela.
The only
because,
possible explanation.
because and I'll get to that in a little while. I got a bunch of information about that.
Which, okay, in all honesty,
Really?
I'm a horrible flyer, and so I was on Xanax. Because I was so terrified of flying for the first time, so I had a doctor prescription to go. Because I was so terrified.
I don't know if we want to put that on the air.
I can edit that out if you want.
I had a doctor prescription.
Okay, good.
I just said that. I had a doctor prescription.
Yeah.
I was so terrified of
They'll
flying.
give you like 1 or 2 Xanax per
Yeah,
flight,
they will.
so-
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Because I was so terrified of flying because I had never flown before, and I was like, holy crap. So you gotta think, I took this, and then I had to wait 30 minutes for it to, like, we got there on time. I had to wait 30 minutes for it to kick in, so Therefore, by the time the flight hit, I didn't really like pay attention to my surroundings. I was so terrified about thinking about a plane flying me.
So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the conspiracy theories. And I'm going to try to break them down as much as I can, but a lot of them kind of tie together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to look at one aspect at a time. We're going to talk about the Masonic symbols.
Okay.
The airport's dedication stone. That's the dedication stone.
Oh, okay. It's got the Masons, Freemasons.
Yeah. So it's got the Freemasons logo, like you said. If you look at the dedication stone, right away you notice the Freemasons logo.
Right.
Okay. If you don't know what the Freemasons symbol is, it's a compass with a capital G in it.
And a square underneath.
Yeah,
it.
a little like square thing. I put a note that there are 2 Freemason Grand Lodges in Colorado. Now, a lot of people believe the Freemasons are a secret society. A lot of people assume they're kind of like the Skull and Bones kind of secret society, and a lot believe that they are the Illuminati. Okay, like high elite people controlling the government. So that's why this is such a big conspiracy theory.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
One of the only people I've actually met from Colorado while I was in the Navy was actually part of the Freemasons.
Now, were they secret? Were they high up? What do you know about them?
No, they weren't high up at all. So the Freemasons he was originally part of the youth organization of Freemasons.
Right.
I forget what they're called.
No,
it's something different. And then eventually he would go into the Freemasons, but because he left for the Navy and everything, he didn't quite make it there. But he will eventually when he goes back.
See, the Freemasons do a lot of charity work, and that's...
He was very secretive about everything because I'd always question him about God knows what. But
right, and that's their whole thing. Like, are they being secretive just because it's their club, or are they being secretive because there's something to hide? You know,
right.
So that's why a lot of people don't trust the Freemasons and all of that.
The Freemasons were supposed to be the founders.
Yeah, a lot of
Like,
the founders
founding
were Freemasons.
fathers.
Right, and you know what? I got a small little
And
list of
how America came about. That's how it was.
Yeah, well, like George Washington, he was a Freemason. John Wayne was a Freemason. Harry Houdini, Mozart, Benjamin Franklin, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Mark Twain, John Hancock, Andrew Jackson, Jesse Jackson, and Richard Pryor are some.
My ex-boss
Really?
was a Freemason.
Yeah, that.
And I'm still in contact with him. We could definitely probably have him on the show.
I would like to do a Freemason episode and kind of dive a little more into why people kind of look at them funny. And we might look at them funny once we get into more of these details on this. So on that same dedication stone, there is a, like I said, underneath the Freemason logo, it has the date that the airport was dedicated. And under that, it says New World Airport Commission helped fund and build this airport, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That they were the contributors.
Right.
New World Airport Commission. Sounds awful.
New World Order.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that's the New World Order. Not Hulk Hogan's New World Order. This is the Illuminati New World Order.
Only you would say that.
Yeah,
though.
well...
You know, because...
Listen here, brother!
Yeah, most other people, when they think New World Order, they don't think wrestling.
Shut up. So, what is the...
Trying to stifle me. What are you part of the... You part of it, Toby?
You can't really find what the New World Airport Commission is supposed to be. All I can find is that a man named Charles Ansbranch, Ansbacher, he's the one that coined the term, and we can't ask him exactly what the term means because he's passed away. So every time you try to search it, though, nothing really comes up. There's no business. There's nothing that I could find anyway. There might be something that was painfully obvious, and I just completely missed it.
And it's a time capsule, too.
What do you mean?
It says the time capsule beneath this stone contains messages and memorabilia to the people of Colorado in 2094.
Really?
Yeah, right above the symbol.
Does it say that?
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Holy crap, I missed that. Interesting. So in 2094, they'll crack it open?
and reveal that it's a secret government base.
All right.
If I live to 101, I can actually see what it is.
I'd have to be like 120 years old. That sucks, man.
So another weird thing that people are pointing out about all of this is if you add the numbers up of the dedication date, which is March 19th, 1994. If you add up 1994, you get the number 33. And this is a stretch, but this is what
3
people...
plus 3 equals 6.
Well, what does that mean?
Devil.
Well, no, they want to say that 33 is the highest level of Freemasonry that you can achieve.
Level 33.
Level 33.
Seems kind of low, especially for an RPG.
They didn't have the expansions yet.
Oh, okay. No expansion packs yet in 94.
Yeah. So, hold on. Let me get to the right picture. Scroll over to the map.
Do, 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 do.
Okay.
Do, do. There's some weird freaking artwork in this place.
We'll get to it. It's great. Are you looking at the map?
Yeah, I got the map.
Okay. If you look at a picture or a map, like of an above shot of the runway,
I
An
see it.
airplane view.
an airplane view, yeah.
Right. I see it. You don't even have to say it. I
Or
can
an
see it
eagle
right here.
view, a
It,
sky
it
shot view.
slightly looks like a swastika. Do you see it, Tyler?
It's kind of a stretch too when
It's
you
a-
look at the.
It's a stretch, but it's there if you really tilt your head, squint your eyes. It's there.
You know, the swastika used to be a symbol of power in Norse mythology until the Nazis used it for their own perverse little beliefs.
Right.
I'm pretty sure
So-
some Indian tribes it's like peace or something like that as well.
I think India.
India?
Actual India.
Yeah, that's what I
it's,
meant.
It's like peace or prosperity or something too. So yeah, I could see how they could put it in there symbolically for whatever reasons, you know.
Well, and I guess this particular like layout isn't the typical formation for an airport.
Because
for the
those
runways.
are all runways, right?
Yeah, those are all runways.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
It is odd. It is definitely an odd shape. but-
One representative said the runways were designed so planes could be moving simultaneously no matter the weather conditions, since none of the runways overlap.
Right.
And I'll kind of jump ahead. At the old airport, they had 6 runways, but it was 3 and 3. Like they intersect with each other, so only 3 planes could be flying at a time. If you
Okay.
look at this one, 5 or so can be flying at a time.
1, 2. Yeah. Looks like 1, 2, 3,
So-
4, 5, 6 runways, maybe.
See, it looks like 6, but I
would
read 5.
guess 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, one right over there on 78th, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 to the right of it, 2 above it, and then 1 off to the top right.
Yeah, see, you'll see here in a minute where what I found said 5, and like I said, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay. I don't want to jump anything.
No sharks. But yeah, so I mean, what do you think, swastika?
It's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, looking at it, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you can
You
see,
know.
like, if you say, what do you see that's fishy here? You can almost be like, I mean, maybe it looks like a swastika, but it's not like it smacks you in the face if you just look at it. So let's talk about the underground bunkers.
I like underground bunkers.
There's a lot to this one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of. So,
I know.
well, tell us about it.
The underground bunkers that were meant for, they were at first for luggage, like storage, and like for them to be able to transport the luggage. But it ended up not being used. People who have gone down in there said that the underground bunkers were, they had, I guess, like in case of a fire broke out, they had the sprinkler system in there. But the whole point is that it was supposed to be fireproof. And so they're like, well, if it's fireproof, then why are these sprinkler systems installed? So then the big conspiracy behind that was that it was almost like gas chambers underneath.
See, I didn't find that
I
one.
don't think I've heard that one
What?
either.
That was the main thing that ever came out about it.
Well, okay, so
Ties into the swastika.
yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff that I found, I guess some of the construction workers have claimed that the reason it took so long and why they got so far behind schedule is because they built 5 buildings and they are underneath the airport with a network of tunnels connecting them. And there's a small train, like I said earlier, that connects them and
Right.
how you can get to them.
You got that one track picture
Yeah.
on here?
So this leads to a couple of different theories, which I didn't know Kristen's, which that one's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Some people believe it's the New World Order's command bunker. Like, they're doing all their business. I couldn't even get through it without laughing. They're doing all their business from there, from these bunkers.
Makes sense to me.
The other big theory is it's in case of a post-apocalyptic event for a global elite to run it. So let's say all hell breaks loose. All of our elites are going to go there, which would make sense that it's an airport because you jump on one plane and go to the airport.
Right.
And then
So
you
you're
go to
all
safety.
in one central location.
Yes, and it's pretty central to the United States. So there's a lot of good reason that why not? That's a good place to hide out if you're...
And I don't want to be the jump the gun person here, but
You better add this sound effect, dude.
did you find out who bought the land up around the airport?
Oh, I forgot. I've heard about that before, but I forgot all about that. What? Explain that one again.
The Queen bought it.
Yeah.
The Queen.
There was a
Yep.
bunch of people
England?
from Congress that
I
bought
forgot
the
to look
land
into that one.
around this
Yeah.
area.
Really?
Bought a bunch of extra land.
All the land that was around it got bought up by very important political people.
So, like, when shit does get real, they have a little piece of property for themselves, right?
I mean, it's a good investment because if the airport ever wants to expand,
Oh yeah, that's what I want to do.
Hey,
they
yeah.
just jack
Why
up the
buy a
prices.
beach front when I can buy a front to a airport?
It's like, we need to expand north. Well, we're going to have to get a hold
How
of the
far
Queen.
north? Because
Queen.
I'm gonna get
Yeah.
a plane. I'm gonna get a runway
Right.
to myself. So is that what kind of north you're talking about?
I mean, it could be. I mean, hell, I never thought about that.
This is my favorite topic.
Another big theory is that this airport was built to be a concentration camp.
Yep.
And there's some weird things about it that make you think, maybe? Supposedly, and I can't find where I found this before, but supposedly, you know how fencing is supposed to keep you out?
I've seen.
Right.
You showed me this actually.
This fencing
Looks
has
like
the
it
barbed
keeps you
wire that keeps you in.
Yeah.
So, and that's what you do at jails.
Right. You have it leaning inward.
So, yeah. So you can't escape.
So if
That's
someone ever
bizarre.
breaks in, they can't get out.
Right.
But you gotta
Right.
think too, though. In the time they were building this, maybe they were thinking about terroristic threats. What if a terrorist comes in there? Maybe they want to keep them in. Maybe they weren't so much thinking about citizens versus thinking about terrorists.
Yeah, but it even could be as simple as fucking Steve come in on the wrong day and was like, "Oh, you put that whole line of miles of fence up on the wrong side? Well, I guess it's staying. We're not going to put the manpower in to
our
fix it."
Steve.
It's always Steve.
Yeah, fuck Steve's.
God, Steven. Jeez.
Not all Steves, just one in particular. um,
Had to clear my throat of the bullshit. Sorry.
So the most of the underground tunnels are used for a rail system, and like Kristen said, they were supposed to have an automated baggage system, and they paid a lot of money for it, and they could never get it to work. So a lot of people believe that this is an excuse for the tunnels. Like, this is why they built so they can say, we built the tunnels for a luggage system. Too bad it doesn't work. But they never tried to get it to work, is what everyone theorizes.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. So it was an underground like an underground luggage system. So there should have been no reason for there to be the sprinkler system. That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Oh,
There should be no reason for the sprinkler system, but somehow they put a sprinkler system underneath there anyway. Like, even though there was not going to be, like, you know, anything underneath there besides, like, and it would be a slow burning because it's made of, like, solid concrete, which usually contains fires versus, you know, letting them explode. They still put those underneath there.
Plus, oxygen would be a little limited too, wouldn't it?
Yes, because it's underground, yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's a good point. Why would you have if it's supposed to be a controlled environment? Why would you need the sprinkler
Right.
system?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
I'm not a
We spent
contractor.
$1 million on this. Why not just throw in this?
and I think I said it a minute ago. You know, there's apparently like 5 buildings at different like heights. Like, well, I guess deeper, not high. They don't go up, but they go down.
Depths.
High in Denver.
Depths.
High in Denver.
Leagues.
Yeah, they go down.
Yeah.
But some claim that there's like a 12. I want to say story. What do you say when it goes down?
12 stories.
Still
yeah.
12 story. Okay, a reverse 12 stories.
It's 12 stories.
They got
May
that,
it just be the
It's you
sixth
just say
floor down.
you just say
or
instead of
sixth floor up.
12 stories up, you just say it's a depth of 12 stories.
Okay,
So you're saying
I like that.
Umbrella has like a
It's
little
the base-
hive there.
Yes,
Sixth
Umbrella
floor.
is there, and they have the T virus, and Denver is actually Raccoon City.
God, I wish they'd use it already for crying out loud.
It's what?
Raccoon City, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil?
Okay. So, anyways,
I like it when we lose Kristen. It's kind of funny.
so
You didn't lose me. I'm here, but I'm like,
like it's supposedly like about 5 buildings, like I said earlier, were built, but what they did was apparently they built them wrong. So instead of tear them
God.
down and reuse the material,
Right.
they did what any American would do: we bury it,
Right.
and they just built on top of it.
Okay.
So that's the excuse for, oh, this is why there's buildings underground, and this is why it took so long. So and remember how much earth was moved?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it kind of seems weird.
So why would you start building an airport underground or that deep anyway?
I don't know.
I
I mean, what
mean-
if they? What?
well, because it is cold in Colorado. The deeper you go, the warmer it will be.
Geothermal?
I don't
They
know.
were trying to
but
be energy efficient back in 94, 95.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Maybe they thought they were the X-Men and were gonna fly a jet out of a fucking mountain. I don't know. It's just it's a weird thing that's out there supposedly.
Doesn't make much sense
No.
to their excuses. So just admit you built a shitload of bunkers and be done with it.
Yeah. Like, what's with all this? Song and dance about? Well, we were supposed to build it one way and we didn't, so we just buried it. Wasted a bunch of money, buried it.
Right. And they're really not going to put that to good use?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
I doubt it.
Anyways, so let's take a small break, and when we come back, we will talk about
Pee, Rudy.
Oh, okay.
the original airport.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna debunk it. So we'll be right back.
Talk about me jumping the shark.
Nice.
Listen to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Miles, better known as Mr. Most Days Off.
And I'm Richie the Whiz Kid.
And we're the host of the Best Darn Diddly Review Show, available at thefanspodcast.com.
Each and every week, we review 2 classic Simpsons episodes from way back in the 90s.
Follow us on Twitter at Best Darn Diddly, and go check out our show at thefanspodcast.com.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub.
No man, that's the wrong show.
God damn it, Kyle.
That's both not my name and the wrong show.
Dope!
There it is. Remember everyone, it's the Best Darn Diddly Review Show, available at thefanspodcast.com and iTunes and Stitcher.
Woohoo!
Do you ever wonder when Spider-Man goes to the bathroom if the toilet paper sticks to his fingers?
Do you ever wonder why Superman wears his underwear outside of his pants?
My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony,
He's the Jock!
and he's the nerd.
And we're your hosts for the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we sometimes try to attempt to answer these questions.
This is a full spoiler podcast, and we swear a lot.
Check it out for awesome geek news, interviews, and comic book reviews. Visit jockandnerd.com. We are your superhero TV, movies, and comic book culture curators.
Boom!
jockandnerd.com. Jock and Nerd!
We are back again, and we're gonna be talking about the. Thanks for ruining it. Tyler,
sorry.
we're done with the podcast. We're done. I'm shutting it all down.
I was
Good
trying to
night,
give you a
everyone.
heads
Have a
up.
good day.
Was
Okay.
I, was
No,
I
it's
not
known,
trying to give
yeah.
you a heads
You,
up?
you did. He scratched my back to let me know.
Right.
So if I wanted to edit it out, I could have, but I didn't because we just ended the show. All because of your sneeze.
Well, goodbye, everybody. It was nice knowing you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the first airport that was in Denver, which was called the Stapleton International Airport. And, you know, a lot of people... Okay, so a lot of things that I read people are like, well, they had a perfectly good airport. Why did they have to go and build the other one? That's not entirely true. Because that's the big conspiracy theory is there was a perfectly good airport. You built this other massive thing. Why?
Right.
So this is where I was going to debunk it, because there's a lot of things that were bad with the old airport. It was used from 1929 to 1995 and was, ran by different airlines over the years.
Right.
So, what is that, 6 years?
29 to 95?
Roughly? 60?
Yeah, roughly.
So, it's an old facility. First off, it has been decommissioned and redeveloped as retail and residential neighborhoods since it's been decommissioned. Stapleton had 6 runways, and this is what I was talking about earlier. While DIA only has 5, and like I said, they intersected. So you could only have 3 planes running at a time compared to DIA's 5 at a time.
Right.
And they also had shorter runways for the commercial jets to take off and land on. Their runways were only 10,000 feet, and DIA has 12,000 to 6,000 feet. So it's easier for the planes to take off. They were over capacity, and they couldn't expand into the... I think they couldn't expand due to a chemical weapons manufacturing center that was near them. And apparently
that's not suspicious.
It's called the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. So I didn't really look much more into that. But they couldn't expand because there was nowhere to expand to. Plus, I think they were in city limits. Like, I want to say they were about 5 miles away from the center of Denver.
Right.
So you're in the city. I mean, it's not like it's off to the side a little bit. For some reason, this particular airport didn't do so well in bad weather. I don't know why.
Well, if it was built in 29, it may not have been up to codes on certain things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Snows a lot.
It snows a lot more right there in the middle of town for some reason. And another thing is, they got sued all the time for noise violations by the neighbors. Again, 5 miles from the center of Denver.
Isn't that kind of something you would expect if you move into a house that's
but
very close to an airport?
They're supposed to regulate noise, I think. I feel like I've read that somewhere.
There's only so much you can regulate with the jumbo jet flying over your house.
Well, you can reduce the amount of traffic. If you have 3 planes flying off at a time,
right,
compared to 1 plane, it's going to be a lot louder. So, and they had 3 runways that they could have going at a time.
Okay.
So let's just say you have 3 planes take off at the almost exact same time. I don't know if that's a thing because I don't know air traffic control rules, but that's going to cause a lot of noise.
Right.
So, yeah, it was an old facility. They needed to update. It was needed.
Right. It was in town, no room for expansion. They needed to expand.
But a $5 billion airport?
Where'd they get the money?
I don't know. I didn't look that far into
The government.
Oh.
There you go.
Government.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, when people try to throw that argument of they had a perfectly good airport, nah,
not really.
They did, but no. I mean,
yeah.
If you have a broken leg, you still have a perfectly good leg. It's just you can't walk on it.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably that much money because the government was like, "Hey, take this, and we'll build you an airport."
Yeah, yeah.
If we get some underground bunkers.
We'll build that airport, but you got to build us some secret bunkers.
Got to build us some gas chambers.
We need a rail system.
A rail system. An in and out.
Water
burger.
sprinklers.
Water sprinklers, yeah.
Water sprinklers.
And make sure you have Steve work that day because we need an inverted fencing system.
Yeah,
yeah.
They specifically they were like, okay,
Steve's
our biggest fuck up.
Yeah,
we are gonna let him build this fence.
It's like, Steve, come here. We need you to build this fence.
So,
it's pretty
we
easy.
have to explain where Steve comes from.
Yeah,
for
No.
us.
No. It's
No.
we have me and Kristen had a joke way
Okay.
before the Steve.
Oh, okay. The actual
Douche.
Steve.
So
For-
Steve was when we first. Okay, so Toby has this entertainment center right here, right?
Okay.
Okay, behind us there is an entertainment center, and we go to put it together, and it's not going together completely, and
It's-
we're like, "What in the hell
The
is wrong with this
backboard
thing?"
is on the picture when you're putting it together. It shows that it's supposed to sit completely flush. The
There's
top
supposed to be a
piece,
notch
Right.
in it.
where that back piece slides into when you lay it all down, and it's supposed to be flush. I sat there for about an hour trying to figure out what
They
the
wouldn't go
fuck
together.
I did wrong, and Kristen was like,
Got it from Target, by the way.
"Yeah." Kristen was like, "We can just take it back," and I was like, "No, I'm not
We
gonna
had
undo
all
all this."
the way put together almost to the very end.
Yeah, it was the last piece.
Last piece.
And I said, this piece isn't working. So what I did was, because it's just like cardboard, kind of like it's
Like
cardboard.
particle board or
Particle
Well,
board,
it's like
yeah.
MDF board or
Yeah.
something.
So
like,
I drew a straight line on there and got a razor and just kept cutting it until it finally cut it, and it went in perfect. So we always made the joke, "Oh, I guess Steve didn't show up to work that day to cut the fucking line in there for it to fit perfectly." So we have
I
bad
gotcha.
Steve karma because we've always blamed Steve for
Right.
not coming in.
So
And
when
then-
Steve comes at you online, you guys got to shut up because
yeah.
and
But we not. Fuck Steve.
and then we had our child's little toy car, and that fucked us.
Oh yeah,
And
Steve
So we
forgot
blamed
to.
that on Steve too. Well, Steve wasn't there that day to fucking assemble the piece that we needed, so here
Okay,
we are.
okay.
We're screwed.
Steve
I
is the
got you
man
now.
you can
So
blame for
Steve-
everything.
I like
Steve's-
that.
Steve's
I like
been
that.
our fuck up in our world.
For a good 2 years.
Even though we
now.
don't even know who Steve is, and it's not even
It's
a
just
real
a random
person.
It was
Steve,
just
yeah.
someone. I just was saying
And
a name.
then-
I was like, I guess Steve didn't fucking come and cut the board today.
Yeah, and then like you
It's just
said,
a running gag. So
online, here comes
We're
Steve,
cool.
and he fucks
Yeah.
our world.
So if there's any Stevens out there, please #hate transpod.
no, no, we don't want hate.
Just Steves, all
I
right.
hate love
Nobody
transpod.
else. I just want Steves to get on there.
I mean, bad news is still news, right?
Right.
I guess so.
News is news.
So, do we want to talk
Even
about
if it's
the Denver International Airport now?
Yeah, sure. Now that we got Steve clarified.
Yes. Let's talk about the artwork.
I'm very curious about this artwork.
Now, if you would, Rudy,
Uh-huh.
slide over to the one that looks like tents.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Let me show Tyler too before we get too far.
Like tents as in like it's tents in here, or tents as in like you're pitching a tent?
A tent. that you're
Tent.
pitching.
Okay.
Okay, do you see this, Tyler? Okay. This is the airport. That's the airport. So if you look at a picture of the outside of the airport, it's supposed to look like the Rocky Mountains.
Okay.
It's supposed to. Apparently the locals, and I say this as art because they tried to make the setting look artsy fartsy and make it look like mountains.
Right.
But if you ask the locals, they'll say, "Oh, the circus tents."
Right.
So
Right.
that's the tents. That's the first little piece of art that I wanted to talk about. So the next thing is called the Blue Mustang.
He looks very sinister, by the way.
Well, the Blue Mustang goes by the nickname Bluecifer,
Okay.
and you'll see why in just a second. So, for those who are listening to the podcast, Bluecifer is a huge blue horse statue. He has glowing red eyes.
Oh God.
He's kind of like got his front legs
he's
in the
standing
air.
on his back
Like,
legs. Yeah.
Kind of like he's bucking up a
Right.
little. He stands at 32 feet tall
Jeez.
and weighs 9,000 pounds. And he's cursed.
Really?
He killed his creator, Luis Jimenez. He was killed in his studio in Hondo. What's NM? What state is NM? I can't think of it.
And
New Mexico?
Is it New Mexico?
NM?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mexico.
Oh, I'm an idiot. So, Hondo, New Mexico on June 13th, 2006, when a large section of the blue Mustang fell on him and severed an artery in his leg. The sculpture was based on the 8-foot-high sculpture Mustino, I guess that means Mustang, and it's on display at the University of Oklahoma. The sculpture was completed with the help of the artist's staff, family, and professional race car painters Camilio Nunez and Richard Lovato. So they did finish it, but not with the original artist.
Right.
Apparently, the original artist only had, he had it sculpted mostly and had the head painted. So, I mean, he was getting there before it crushed him.
So a tragic accident, now the horse is cursed.
Yes.
Because accidents don't happen.
Right.
Okay.
So it was assembled in California and then shipped to Denver and unveiled in February 11th, 2008.
Okay. So he's fairly new.
Yeah. So a lot of people think that this is supposed to be the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. Death.
I thought Death rode in on a pale horse.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Death does ride in on a pale horse.
Yeah, no, you're right. But that's what some people are trying to make a connection to, that he is Death.
They need to learn their revelations.
Yes, go read your book of Revelations,
Right.
children.
It just looks like a giant, creepy horse.
Now, this has nothing to do with any conspiracies or anything, but it's interesting. Jimen's, or whatever the artist's name, his daughter, Alyssa, was a contestant on season 4 of Bravo's reality TV series, Project Runway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting.
You just have to bring up a random hot chick every once in a while, right?
I don't know if she's hot.
If she's on Project Runway, she's probably pretty good looking. You ever watch that show?
No, I really haven't.
My goodness, you're missing out.
Well,
I mean, I don't know what's going on.
I don't watch chick stuff.
No, not at all.
I'm a man. I watch fishing shows.
No.
So the next piece of art, the gargoyle in the statue, or in the gargoyle in the suitcase.
I don't think you took a picture of this one.
No, I didn't. Probably, I forgot. So, in the bagging claiming area, I guess it's called Norte Denver, and is a cast bronze sculpture by artist Terry Allen. And if you read the airport's website, it says, let me try to draw a better picture of what this is. It's a normal luggage suitcase like you would think of. And there's it's opened up and there's a gargoyle just sitting in it.
Okay.
That's it. It's not like a gargoyle like on a building or anything. It's a gargoyle sitting, and I think there might be 2 of them.
Okay.
Maybe. But anyways, they're in the baggage claim area.
Right, because gargoyles typically they were built back then to ward off evil spirits, so.
Right. So on the airport's website, it says the gargoyles, roughly the size of a 5th grade boy, are seated inside suitcases.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah. Historically, gargoyles were placed on buildings to protect the site. These are placed slightly above the travelers' heads to oversee and ensure the baggage will arrive safely in DIA.
There you go. It's just symbolism.
Yes.
Nothing nefarious about that, I don't think.
Do you want to take a break before we get into the murals, the mother load of this?
Sure, because these are really tripping me out.
Yeah, we'll give them one more look over before we get into it.
Right.
So we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey there, fellow podcast fans. Do you love comic books and especially Swamp Thing? Get out of the bayou. So do we. Come check out the Parlapod Show, the world's only podcast dedicated to the muck-encrusted mockery of a man himself, Swamp Thing. This is some serious arcane audio. We also have a sister show, Splurch, where we dive into the world of comics and all the crazy aspects of life. Give us a listen at parlapod.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, our YouTube channel, visit our site, parlapod.com, and consider supporting our Patreon for some really cool rewards and exclusive content. Check us out on podcastradionetwork.net every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Join the conversation on Twitter by following @Parlapod. We'll see you in the swamps.
The moon landings were a hoax. Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy, and a UFO did crash in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. Hello gang, I'm Ocho, and when I'm not listening to the Secret Transmission podcast, I'm busy doing my own podcast, the Ocho and Ortiz Wrestling Podcast. Together with my co-host Ortiz, we talk about, as you've probably surmised by the title of our show, wrestling. We mainly focus on WWE, as well as local independent scene here in Toronto, and every once in a while, we sprinkle in a little bit of UFC talk. You can find us on Stitcher, on iTunes, but primarily you can find us on Podbean, ochoandortiz.podbean.com, or through our WordPress website, ochoandortiz.wordpress.com. You can also find us on Twitter at ochoandortiz, on Facebook, facebook.com/ochoandortiz, or through our YouTube page. Just search for Ocho and Ortiz. So if you like wrestling, give us a listen. Now enjoy the rest of this episode of the Secret Transmission Podcast.
And we are back again. I don't know why I keep saying again now.
I don't either.
Okay, whatever, just habit. Yeah, I don't know. So we are back, and we're about to talk about the murals in the... Again, we're going to talk about the murals again, because we were talking about them off mic. So, they have names, and it's... I believe... Okay, this is where I had a hard time understanding. I think it's 2 murals that are split up into 2s.
Okay.
So... 2 pieces are supposed to be together, and 2 pieces the other 2 are supposed to be together. So there's
Gotcha.
4 total, but I think 2 share a name and the other 2 share a name.
Okay.
I can't say that for 100%. So the first one is called In Peace and Harmony with Nature. And then the second one is called The Children of the World Dream of Peace. And they are by Leo Tanguma. Tanguma.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, close enough. Whatever. The artist stated the mural was to depict man-made environmental destruction and genocide, along with humanity coming together to heal in nature and live in peace. From these images, and if you're listening to this, you need to go look at these pictures. And do you see, like his little quote, depict man-made environmental destruction and genocide, along with humanity coming together to heal nature and live in peace?
Okay, the first one, the one with the, looks like a Nazi soldier holding the gun in one hand and the sword in the other, is that the one they're talking about?
I guess that is...
I could see genocide in that.
Yeah, genocide and destruction of nature, of the environment would be the second one. And then the third and fourth one would be the humanity coming together to heal nature and live in peace.
Right. Yeah, because the second one, it's fire in the background and people in the foreground. It looks like there's coffins.
Yeah, we'll get to it in just a second.
Okay,
and we'll go through each one and talk about it. But I do want to make a note that to pick the artwork for the airport, it has to go through a community of members that choose it. So, like, this is a group of people that choose it. Right. And once this said group of people choose it that I guess are affiliated with the airport, they have to have it approved by government committees and the mayor before it can even be commissioned.
Oh, wow.
So the idea has to be thrown out. So a lot of someone's had to be like, no, this is cool.
Yeah, this
is
will work.
what we want.
Right.
We want this in our airport. So let's start with the one of the painting with the soldier in it.
Okay.
We're gonna describe it because this is a podcast and we're audio.
It would be fun if people got online and looked these up while
As we
talking
talk,
about
yeah.
them too.
But if you're driving down the road,
still look it up.
no, we did not say that. Just pull over. One painting, the first painting, has the soldier wearing. I don't know. It kind of looks like a Darth Vader mask if you're looking at it,
like gas mask. Really.
But a lot of people say that it's a gas mask.
Right.
And he's in like a dark green.
Just a uniform.
Yeah, it. A lot of people described it as a Nazi general type uniform.
Well, it's the emblem on the helmet or on the cap or whatever.
Yeah,
it's very reminiscent of
Nazi
Germany. Yeah, in the outfit they had dark green outfits, didn't they?
So he's holding a gun, and he has a sword also, which he is killing a white dove with that sword.
Right.
Which, that white dove means peace or whatever.
There's just a lot of strange imagery in this one photo too.
Yeah, he looks like he's really evil, and there's people cowering next to him. I don't know if they're dead or if they're just like hiding or whatever, trying to get away from him. It looks like, and this is people like to point this one out. It looks like there's a chemtrail in the background where he's swooshing his sword.
Here's the way I look at that.
That would be the environmental genocide.
Or what I'm looking at is it ends down here with these what looks like dead kids.
Right.
There's like 3 of them, and they're like laying on bricks, and they're like clutching teddy bears and shit. Well, it goes up, and it forms a rainbow.
It does have a little rainbow in it.
Right. So I'm wondering if it's like their spirits leaving.
I don't know, but a lot of people want to say that chemtrails, and if you don't know what chemtrails are, it's a conspiracy theory, and I'm just going to give a big summary. The government is spraying some kind of chemical to mind control us or whatever,
right.
Poison us, and they're doing it through airplanes, through these things called chemtrails. And we might touch on that in a future episode more. We've touched on it a little bit when we talked about HARP way back in episode 2, and I don't recommend going back and listen to episode 2. They're bad. And what was I saying? Like I said, chemtrails in the background, possibly, and all the destroyed buildings on, the right side of them.
And in the foreground, yeah.
And then on the left-hand side, it shows a line of crying women holding what appears to be dead babies.
Right.
And then people point this out and say, Zika.
Oh, yeah.
So they were trying to tie that from a few things that I saw. So basically, they're already saying that this image has started with the chemtrails and the Zika virus. So that conspiracy theorists are saying this is already happening.
Someone depicted the future.
Right.
Okay.
So, also the sword looks very similar to a Shriner Freemason. I guess some kind of Freemason sword.
It's a how do they pronounce it? Scimitar?
Scilmitar? Yeah. I don't know what that is. I wasn't going to try to say it.
It's a type of Arabian sword, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, they say that it's a Freemason kind of sword.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They showed a Freemason hat in a picture that I had, and it looks like the same sword. And like it's what are those like fez? Is that what it is? The fez?
Yeah.
And it's got like the symbol on it with that sword.
I simply take this as
it does look like an Arabian sword. Like if you think of Aladdin, that's the sword that
they would have.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at this and I see they're symbolically depicting the death of innocence.
Right,
is what I'm looking at.
And apparently that little quote that's in the bottom right hand side with the that looks like it's on a letter. I think someone said that is a quote from someone that died in Auschwitz.
Oh, okay. That there's like a little letter down there.
Yeah. So I don't.
You can't make out on these pictures.
Yeah, and I don't remember what it says. So the second one is the one where it looks like a forest is on fire, and there's a lot of going on in this.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this picture.
It shows like buffalo, leopards, whales, turtles, penguins. Now the leopard looks like he's dead, but what do you think of the other ones? Do they look dead?
The buffalo looks like it's just like a trophy piece.
Yeah.
And then the birds are in cages. and the little boy's clutching like a squirrel on the right. It's almost like they're trying to gather him up to protect him.
Yeah.
From the big explosion behind them?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
But then there's like 3 coffins in the foreground, and there's like dead people.
And okay.
Or
it's they got 3 open caskets.
Right.
It's an African girl on the left,
Right.
a native girl in the middle,
right.
And they were saying like I can't remember what a Judeo-Christian in the little white girl in the right coffin,
like a little blonde-haired white girl.
If you look, I think she has like the Star of David or something. For Judaism, and I think she's holding a Bible in her hand, which we can't see on these pictures.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell in these pictures.
But that's what I think I remember someone saying. And then if you
because the native's holding like a little totem,
right?
I can make that out.
Now, do you see the little girl in the not directly in the middle, but the one to the right of her?
Yeah, in the background.
She's holding the Mayan calendar, and it's broken.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know, a lot of weird stuff going on.
Then you
here.
have this like little bland little Asian kid to the left in the blue. It's just with like a regular blue hat and a blue shirt, just kind of looking on.
He kind of looks like what's his name in the Goonies, Gadget or something like that.
Gadget.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know.
I can't think of his name.
Right, but again, it's like a bunch of different races coming together.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, it is odd.
Let's go to the next one. So in this one, it shows a bunch of kids with peace signs holding weapons wrapped in their country's flags. In the center is a blonde-haired, some say blue-eyed, kid who may look German because of his outfit. And he has an iron fist and is holding a hammer and is destroying weapons. Well, the weapon from the very first painting that we were talking about.
Right.
It's the same sword.
Well, considering that these other kids holding the sword are Asian and just different, there's like different cultures holding it.
Right. This is everyone, and they've got their flags. You can see a Spanish flag.
Do you like the little Canadian in the top left? Looks like a Mountie. Do you see that?
Top left. Hold on.
Look at the top left.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's the best. Top left, like in the second panel.
Look toward the top left. Yeah.
That's funny.
Like that's how you depict Canadians. He's a little Mountie, eh?
That's exactly what it is.
I wonder how many bad racial stereotypes are
Oh my gosh, right. We got the little Amish kid almost right underneath him. He almost looks like he has a little beard.
It looks to me
He does.
It looks to me like they're, like a new world, like they finally beat the guy and they're like coming out
and they're coming together and they're getting rid of their weapons, maybe? I don't know.
Because he's the soldier's still clutching his gun,
right?
But they're destroying the sword, and the doves are sitting on top of it. So that's
he looks like he's dead.
Right.
People believe that this painting is supposed to symbolize that communism will rule. I know. This is exactly the opposite of what you were saying off microphone.
How in the hell do they figure communism will rule? It looks like the
that
death of.
Well, because the little blonde German boy with his iron fist saving the day with communism.
That.
No, I don't see that one.
I'm just telling you what I read. I'm not.
Did you see the? Is that supposed to be an astronaut on the far right? It looks like a little black kid in a white spacesuit.
I don't know.
Wait, whoever associated blue eyes, blonde hair with communism?
Hitler.
Yeah, Hitler.
Was Hitler a communist or was he a dictator?
Both.
Yeah,
he was a communist. Communism was his platform.
Yeah,
really.
He started out with socialism and turned it into communism.
Because China's communism, and none of them have blue eyes or blonde hair.
Communism is an ideal. Here in America, though, apparently being blonde hair and blue eyed or white, period, you're just racist off the bat.
Yeah, you're part of the superior Aryan Brotherhood race.
Right. You're automatically racist over here. So I don't. Even in Europe or England, they're kind of like that too.
I've been told that once or twice.
Huh. We'll stop saying racial jokes, and you won't get that.
Yeah.
No, I've actually been told I was racist because I was from Texas.
We get that a lot. Just because we're from Texas, we're racist.
One of the greatest misconceptions about Texans. So
our friends at the TX Files, they make jokes all the time on their show about how they get stereotyped because they're Texan too.
Right.
Good times.
And you catch little jabs on TV shows too about Texas.
Simpsons drives me nuts about their yeehaw. They're
Right.
the big old Texas guy.
Well, like the Family Guy, when they came down, they were coming through Texas to get somewhere to hide.
Yeah.
And
They're like,
they dress up
you
Stewie
get
as a girl.
they got a free pistol? They
free
bought something
pistol with a bottle
a bottle of whiskey or something
whiskey.
like that. And Brian ended up shooting Super Satan on accident.
Yeah, that's Texans.
So yeah, I'm always catching little jabs about Texas being whatever on TV shows. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You've never lived here. Then.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of racial stereotypes on this
Oh my
painting.
god, yeah, it's ridiculous. All the little, I mean, the one looks like who's Michael Jackson's sister? Not Janet, the other one.
Oh, I don't know.
There's another Michael Jackson. Look right here. Look, kind of to the right of the space guy, or like right in the center, right at the top. Looks like a Jackson from one of the Jackson 5.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bizarre.
Let's go to the fourth and final painting. So in this fourth painting, it's a lot brighter, it's a lot happier, it's a lot more cheerful. We just won this war, I guess. It appears that the Earth has been restored, and the apocalyptic war has ended, and the animals that were endangered or dying, they're back because the jaguar is alive in this painting.
And the birds and animals are free. They're not in cages or anything, or in boxes like they were.
But people want to point out, it looks like there's no adults, and all the children of many different races and religions and beliefs are there.
I noticed that in the second one too, or the third one we just talked about. There's no adults in that one.
No.
So what is? Yeah,
and
that is odd.
And then another weird thing is the weird plant in the middle that has a rainbow color,
right?
And it has a glow,
right?
So some people think this is the New World Order making a one world, one religion, one government, one ruler place. And that the glow from the plant, which is obviously genetically modified, GMOs,
yeah.
And it's Lucifer's power that's emanating off of that plant.
Because, okay.
Okay, now hold on. Before you try to debunk me, I want you to look at that little bird.
Which one?
The little bird that's the same kind of colors as the plant. That's, hold on.
The one that's kind of hovering above it to the right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is believed to be Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl?
Quetzalcoatl?
I think that's how I've heard it pronounced that way too. Yeah.
It is a deity that is, his name basically means feathered serpent.
Okay.
And when you talk about serpents, they're never good, from what I understand. And now this one, I didn't really dig too deep into this, but that was like everyone's smoking gun for, that's Lucifer!
Okay. In modern religions, the serpent, yeah, it's associated with Lucifer, but in ancient religions, serpents were tied in with wisdom.
Really?
Yeah, in
I don't
ancient
like
cultures.
Snakes. Snakes can fuck off.
Well, that's because you're
snakes
weak.
and thieves.
So,
oh god.
So yeah, and
to me, it just looks like a multicolored bird. I mean,
right.
The same bird is in the second picture in a cage.
Right.
So,
right.
You see, and you know what? I didn't notice that until we were about to go through them again, and I was like, oh. But I can't say that fun fact until the very end because that ties in with the Lucifer.
To me, what I find odd is the little kid in the center by the bird looks Mayan. He's got the little Mayan headdress.
He does. So yeah, I mean, interpreting someone else's artwork, you can't.
And what is that? A big old huge swan on the right too?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
And the little capuchin monkeys in the front or whatever.
We need to look up exactly what the artists like. Their description of the painting.
Well,
they usually put a very.
He said that it was supposed to be. Well, hold on, I'll go back and read that real quick. It is supposed to depict man-made environmental destruction and genocide, along with humanity coming together to heal nature and live in peace.
And I can see that.
Yeah, to be honest, if you read it after you really analyze all 4 pictures and you read his description, it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. That makes total sense.
Here's what I'm taking out of it now all of a sudden. I'm seeing kids rising up against adults and crushing them wholeheartedly. Because look at the first one. Look at the first one. It's an adult, and then there's a bunch of women crying on the left.
Right.
Then the second one, it's a bunch of kids, and they're surrounded with the little animals, and it's nothing but adults in the coffins.
Right.
And then you get to the third one, they're destroying the adults. And then the fourth one, no adults.
This is all because of Pizzagate.
Fucking Pizza.
It all's coming together.
The kids got tired of the bullshit.
Yeah, they're like...
They rise up.
No more hot dogs and pizzas for
with
you
their,
guys.
With their snow leopards and Quetzalcoatls, and they destroy us.
Yeah.
They're ancient deities.
So before we get to the end of this, I did want to bring up one slightly weird incident. No one brings this up as a conspiracy theory, but I still thought it was worth mentioning because, well, I guess they do kind of bring it up as a conspiracy theory. So they had a shattered windshield incident. In 2007, 14 commercial aircraft windshields shattered. A couple of them were taking off. A couple of them were trying to land.
Really?
You know, some of them had to go back down and land because of the windshield shattering. People believe that this was an electromagnetic pulse.
Oh, yeah.
But an EMP will only affect electronics.
Right.
And it would have dropped all the planes in the surrounding area.
Yeah, it wouldn't have done physical damage to a window. You need a actual pulse wave of
I was
some
going to
sort.
say, it would have to be some kind of other pulse wave to knock out just the windshield.
Sound.
Right? Yeah.
So a lot
Sound
of people
wave.
were saying to make a pulse wave, you would need something like a nuclear bomb to go off, and it wouldn't have just damaged the
It
wave.
wouldn't just damage the windshields; it would damage
everything.
Right.
So people are like, this is just a crazy coincidence. So a lot of people believe that you got higher winds, you got the grip in the rocks from the mountains if they're blowing, cold temperatures, just a bunch of weird factors. Just a weird coincidence. And who knows? Maybe there is some kind of secret weapon the government has that can only break windshields. Who knows?
It could be a sound frequency thing.
Yeah, it really could be.
Think about that, though. If you can shatter windshields of an airplane while it's taking off or landing,
that's scary.
30,000 feet up, you shatter all the windshields out of a plane.
Mm-hmm.
That's instant
Depressurize.
Yep.
Wow.
Everyone's gone.
Think about that.
I don't want to think about that.
30,000 feet to reflect on your life.
So here are
creepy.
The main questions people ask about the conspiracy theories at Denver International Airport. People want to know they want to know the amount of fiber optic cables installed because they want to know if it was enough for a city. And okay, let me rephrase all this. Conspiracy theorists believe the amount of fiber optic cables installed was enough for a city, not an airport.
Gotcha.
And then they ask, why are there miles and miles of underground tunnels going 4 stories deep and big enough for trucks to drive through them? Again, that's a real legitimate question. I can see why did y'all bury buildings instead of tear them down and start over and reuse the material?
Right.
Which I don't know anything about construction, so that may not have been an option. Why is the fueling system much larger than any other airport would ever need? Because, they have the largest fueling station.
Maybe they were... The only thing I could think of there is maybe they were predicting it to be busier than it actually was.
The only thing I could think of is it is Colorado.
Right.
Maybe it's so you don't have to rely on fuel trucks to come and bring fuel. You can have a larger abundance in case.
Stockpile it.
Yeah, in case.
That way, whenever you need to land a bunch of your jet fighters, they have plenty of fuel to go and attack everyone else.
People still want to know who the New World Airport Commission is.
Yeah, that one's kind of bizarre. There's no information on it.
Apparently, no researchers can determine who they are, and there's signs all over the airport that say it.
I wonder if anyone else has looked up, hold on a minute. Let me see this. The Martin... what is it? Martin Mapita Aeronautics. What's that other one? It's hard to read some of these. There's an architect group on there, and then Zimmerman Steel. Has anyone looked up the rest of these guys to see if they're legit?
Where are you seeing that at?
On the bottom of that mural.
Oh,
down there under contributors,
Yeah.
right under New World Order, airport, are these 3 contributors.
Yeah, I didn't look up any of those.
Right.
People want to know why the apocalyptic artwork is hanging in the airport with the 4 murals, and why are parts of the airport protected by machine gun wielding military personnel. Apparently they have some like really high spots, and they have people with guns guarding them, which I didn't really see anything, but it's a possibility. Why not?
To me, that's not unusual because international airports, they have armed guards.
Right, yeah.
But then again, they're at a higher risk of terroristic threats too, though, overseas than we are. But I would be okay with servicemen standing around with firearms like that.
Right.
I don't know, it'd make you question because I don't see any armed men at DFW. It's a big ass airport.
It would make you question it now, but if it was a standard, like it is overseas and in foreign countries, then there would be no question for it.
No, yeah, definitely not.
Right. And it would probably, cause less incidences.
Yeah, keep people more in line.
Right.
Because you got that person possibly pointing a gun at the back of your head.
Right. You wouldn't need those super invasive TSA assholes. You could just have armed guards right there.
Get your finger out of there.
Right. Right.
That's not yours.
That's kind of one of the reasons why I go to the airport. Is for those
it's
nice
cheaper than a doctor.
Right.
I need a prostate exam.
Just walk in, say something weird, and next thing you know, getting the whole finger in the booty hole.
Oh, God.
A plane will depressurize if a hole is blown in the wall, right?
It should, yeah.
Yeah, and then they take you to the back. That's your question you ask them?
Yeah, that's the question I ask them. Or, hey, does this smell like C4?
Can you smell the C4 on me? Or
it's a good way to get checked.
So another thing that people, I guess, believe is a conspiracy is that apparently there's construction work that's been continued ever since the airport was finished.
Really?
But, that could just be a crazy theory. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much all I got for it.
The History Channel, they did do a little thing where they checked out the international airport and they were allowed limited access. There are like some really big restricted areas down there.
I could see that.
Yeah. So
do you think, with all this being said, and there's stuff that I missed, and we may come back and touch on it later.
Right.
It might cross with other stuff that we talk about in the future, but as of right now, where do you guys stand? Kristen had to leave us, if you haven't noticed. She wasn't feeling well during our last break, so it's just us manly men in here talking about this, that, and the other.
Let's see. I think everyone likes to blow the Freemasons out of proportion.
Yeah, I can't wait to do an episode on them one day and really try to see what... If we could, I'd love to interview a Freemason, a real Freemason, someone that's higher up, not like first year,
level
like
33.
They wouldn't tell you nothing, though.
I want to know a level... I want to talk to like a level 29.
I want post-expansion.
Roundabout.
I want post-expansion levels. Okay?
Yeah.
Not just 33, okay?
Yeah.
As far as Big Blue, Bluecifer, or whatever, I think it was just... I don't know. I think it's just art. Pale horse.
I think a lot of those things are just art.
Right. Okay, what is Colorado's football team?
The Broncos.
Denver Broncos. There you go.
I mean,
I was going to mention that. And
what's
their
their color?
They're blue and orange.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's exactly when people start saying something about it, like, oh, it's a horseman. Wait, are we forgetting like what the? I don't know. Maybe it's just because football's bigger here in Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just assume.
But there's definitely something up. They spent way too much money.
That's the only thing that bugs me too is you don't spend that much damn money.
$2 billion over budget.
Right, $2 billion over budget on what? And don't tell me it's because Steve fucked up the fence.
Because they didn't even fix the goddamn fence.
Yeah, that's a weird thing too. The backwards fence.
Keep people in, not out.
Right.
That is an odd design choice for sure. But the artwork, I'm really gonna. To me, I would chalk it off as the rise and fall of a regime, of a communist regime. I mean, just the artwork alone in the soldier is, you might as well paint a swastika on him.
Right, yeah. It really does look like a entire world coming together against one evil power.
Was this artist Jewish by chance?
I
I'd
didn't-
like to know, because...
I got his name,
Right.
but I didn't. I don't know. I'm not gonna look it up.
Right.
You listeners at home can look that up and let us know.
Because then you posted that one picture of the dedication to the 14-year-old boy who died in Auschwitz. Auschwitz? Yeah.
Yeah.
Concentration camp back in 1943, which is a weird little touch.
Mm-hmm. And if you watch our YouTube version of this, go ahead.
I'm good. I fought it off.
That's why I was pausing, because I was like, red.
Okay.
If you, hopefully I'll have a YouTube version of this episode up, and I'll have pictures correlating with what we're talking with if you want to go back and listen again. And I might post some of these pictures of all the weird stuff on our Instagram and Twitter. So go check that out.
See, I never would have thought chemtrails for that one picture.
Okay, this is where my love of conspiracy theories come in, because some conspiracy theories drive me nuts.
Right.
But I love that people can connect these imaginary dots that don't connect.
Right.
It's amazing to me. Like, they managed to tie in chemtrails, Zika virus, GMOs. They tied in 3 or 4 things into this painting.
And this was 95, right?
See, I believe that the paintings were commissioned in 95. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Because
I don't know when they were finished.
You said the horse was 08.
Yeah, the horse was really late.
Right.
And supposedly, I couldn't find anything on this, so I might have been Mandela'd, but apparently one of the paintings was taken down or painted over with a new painting.
Really? Huh.
I can't confirm that because I couldn't really find anything. I saw some people talking about it, but they were like, every time I went to a thread of what happened to it, people will be like, no, it's still hanging up. So, was I Mandela'd?
Could have been. Mandela's a nice, good excuse for
one Mandela an episode at least.
For, Mandela's a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Not Nelson Mandela, the actual effect.
The effect.
Both of them. I mean.
Fuck them both. So what do you think, Tyler? Do you think there's anything sinister, or did you answer?
Yeah, we both kind of answered. I mean, I think we both agree. Like, the artwork is, in some of the interpretations is like, it's kind of BS, but
I think it's open. But I mean,
but the spending and everything, and like, it's fishy.
Yeah. The spin, and that's where I'm gonna sit in. Is the spending is fishy. The only thing that I find really fishy is the extra buildings that they just buried. That's weird.
Yeah.
If that's true,
right.
On top of that. And I think Kristen's pretty behind saying that this is fishy, because she kept talking about how this is her favorite conspiracy theory. So I think she might think there's something fishy there. Who knows?
One thing I did notice, though, is every picture has a rainbow theme in it.
Yeah.
There's a rainbow in every picture.
And it gets brighter and brighter
right.
each picture.
Well, you have the one with the soldier that just kind of, it like fades off. It's like it's leaving.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, it's just kind of hidden off to the side, but it's very dark.
Right.
And then, of course, the one where they defeat the soldier, it's right there in the background. I mean, you can't miss it.
Right.
And then the last one, the flower,
is
the central point.
That's what I'm saying.
Rainbow.
It gets brighter because once it's the plant, it's illuminating, and it is bright.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of symbolism he was doing there with that.
Maybe it was just some really good weed, man, while he was painting.
Most of those paintings look like there are drugs involved.
Yeah, lots of drugs.
Isn't that supposed to be like togetherness, the rainbow nowadays?
Yeah,
anyway?
I can see that.
You know, all colors of the rainbow.
Right, yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, maybe we'll touch on this again in the future. If we were wrong about stuff, let us know.
Oh, we probably are, and they probably will let us know.
Yeah.
So. Except Steve. Fuck Steve.
Yeah, fuck Steve.
Steve,
fuck
go
him.
to hell. I don't even know the guy. I don't even care. Just fuck him.
Well, I guess that's going to do it for this episode. Everyone say adios.
Goodbye.
See ya.
As always, we appreciate you listening to the show. We'd love it if you'd give us a review and 5 stars on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe. Our show is also available on Stitcher, Google Play, and Satchel, so tell your friends, tell your family, because we're available just about everywhere. You can also catch reruns of our latest episode on the Podcast Radio Network at 10 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, and go donate $1 to them. Go to their website, podcastradionetwork.net, and just go to the bottom of the page, click the donate button, give them $1 if you would, please. That'll help the network out and help a bunch of podcasts. You can leave us a voicemail, 304-602-7444. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SecretTransPod. You can email us at secrettransmission@hotmail.com. And we hope you come back and listen to us try to explain the unexplainable.
Ready to say goodbye, Roger.